Welcome back to another episode of our Real English Channel podcast, where you improve your English while learning something useful for life. I'm Emma, and today we're diving into a big topic, one that everyone struggles with at some point in life: how to stop getting angry or bothered by other people. And of course, Jack is here with me.
Hi, everyone. This is going to be a powerful episode because if you can learn to stay calm in stressful situations, not only does your life improve, but your English communication improves too. Because anyone has noticed when you're angry, your English or any language gets worse. You lose control. You say things you regret. So today, we're going to talk about mindset, real stories, and psychology behind staying calm.
Absolutely. Let's begin with something simple. When someone annoys you, hurts you, says something rude, most people react instantly. They get defensive, emotional, or angry. But the first principle of staying calm is understanding that you cannot control other people, but you can control how you respond.
Exactly. And that alone is life-changing because many people forget that. They try to control the world instead of their reaction. Something I heard once changed my life. It was, if something can be solved, why worry? If it can't be solved, what's the point of worrying? It sounds simple, but most of us don't live that way.
Yes, and Jack, most anger comes from expectations. We expect people to behave kindly. We expect people to appreciate us. We expect them to understand our point. And when they don't, boom, we get upset.
That is true. Think about it. If you had no expectations from someone and they said something rude, you would just think, oh, that's just how they are, and move on. But expectations create the emotional reaction.
Let's give a practical example. Imagine you're at work. You worked hard on a report. You bring it to your boss. Instead of appreciation, he says, "This is not good enough. Do it again." Most people get angry inside. They think, why doesn't he respect me? Why doesn't he acknowledge my effort?
Where does the anger come from? The expectation of approval. If you remove the expectation and think, okay, this comment might help me improve, the emotional reaction disappears.
So, one big step to not getting angry is to disconnect your peace from other people's behavior. When your emotional state depends on external people, you're giving them control of your happiness.
Absolutely. And that's dangerous because imagine giving everyone a remote control to your feelings. Someone presses a button, you're sad. Another presses, you're angry. Someone else presses, you're stressed. It's crazy, but that's how most people live.
The happier path is realizing I decide how I feel. Other people may speak, behave, react, but I have the power to choose my response.
Now, someone listening might say, okay, that sounds good in theory, but how do I actually do it? How do I control myself when I'm triggered? Let's give some practical steps. Step 1. Pause before reacting. Just a few seconds. Don't reply immediately. Don't let your emotions speak for you. Take one breath.
Yes, that small pause changes everything because anger is fast. It wants immediate action. A pause kills its power. Step 2 is this. Ask yourself, why am I triggered? Is it really the person or a wound inside me? For example, if someone calls you lazy, why does it hurt? Because maybe you're insecure about productivity. If someone calls you stupid, it hurts if deep inside you fear not being smart enough.
Exactly. People's words often hurt because they touch something inside that we haven't healed yet. So instead of being angry at someone, ask, why did this comment affect me so much? That question alone might stop the emotional explosion.
Let me share a story. Many years ago, I worked with someone who always criticized everything I did. No matter how much effort I put in, she always found something negative. I used to go home angry and upset. I would talk about it to friends, complain, feel stressed. One day, I realized something. She criticized everyone, not just me. That was her personality. I was taking her behavior personally when it had nothing to do with me. Once I accepted that, her words lost their power. I stopped being angry.
That lesson is huge. Most of the time, when someone is rude, toxic, negative, or difficult, it's not about you. It's a reflection of their world, their habits, their insecurity, their stress, their trauma. And we make the mistake of thinking it's personal.
Yes, for example, if someone shouts, it might not be because of you. It might be because they had a bad day, because they feel pressure, because they never learned emotional control.
There is a psychological technique I love. It's called detached observation. It means you watch the situation mentally, as if you're not involved, like you're watching a movie. Let's say someone is yelling at you. You mentally step back and think, interesting, this person is angry. Their voice is loud. Their emotions are strong. When you create that distance, the emotional power decreases.
I like that because when you become the observer, you stop being the victim. You don't feel attacked, you analyze. And when you analyze, you stay calm.
Absolutely. Silence can be powerful. When someone tries to provoke you, silence shows strength. If you argue back, you play their game. But silence makes them look emotional while you look wise and in control.
Yes, and it also protects your peace. You don't have to respond to every opinion. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to win every argument. Some battles are not worth entering.
Let's talk about modern life. Social media. People today get offended by comments online from strangers who don't even know them. Isn't that crazy?
It is. Someone writes, "Your English is bad," and suddenly your whole day is ruined. But think, why are you giving a stranger the power to control your emotions? If you are walking on the street and a random person shouts something crazy, you would probably ignore them. But online, people take every comment personally.
Yes, that's the problem. People forget something important. If someone doesn't know you, their opinion doesn't define you. Why should a stranger have the ability to upset you?
I also want to say this. Sometimes people criticize or attack you because they can't reach your level, or because they feel insecure or jealous. There's a quote I love: "People who are doing more than you will never criticize you. Only those doing less will try to pull you down." Successful, confident people don't waste time attacking others.
So true. And once you understand that criticism often comes from insecurity, you stop getting angry, you start feeling neutral, even empathetic.
Sometimes controlling yourself isn't enough. Sometimes you need to change the environment. If someone consistently hurts you, disrespects you, makes you angry, set boundaries. Spend less time with them. Because emotional control doesn't mean letting people walk over you. It means staying peaceful while protecting your space.
That's very important. Staying calm is not weakness. It is strength. Anger is easy. Anyone can shout. Staying calm, even when someone tries to break you, that's mastery.
Let's also connect this topic with English learning because we're here to help listeners grow in both life and language. Many learners get upset when someone laughs at their pronunciation or when they make a mistake. They get angry, embarrassed, or discouraged. But if you adopt the mindset we're talking about, you protect your confidence. If someone laughs, it's their problem, not yours.
Right. You are learning a new language. You are improving. You are moving forward. People who laugh are standing still. You're growing, they're not. So why waste emotional energy on them?
This has been part 1, and I hope listeners are already feeling more empowered. Remember, you can't control others, only your reaction. The pause before responding is powerful. Most criticism is not personal. Protect your peace like a treasure.
In part 2, we will go deeper with real scenarios, mindset exercises, and how to apply this attitude in family, career, social media, and daily life.
Stay with us. More wisdom and English practice coming soon.
Welcome back to part 2 of our podcast. In part 1, we talked about the foundations of emotional control, understanding that anger often comes from expectations, insecurity, or interpreting situations personally. Now we're going deeper with real-life scenarios and practical tools people can use today.
Let's start with one of the most common sources of emotional tension, family. Because, let's be honest, we can stay calm with a stranger more easily than with someone at home. With family, emotions run deeper. We expect more, we want more, and when they don't behave the way we hope, we get upset faster.
Yes, and many listeners probably experience this. Maybe a parent keeps criticizing. A brother always argues. A child doesn't listen. A partner complains. And people think, why can I stay calm outside, but at home I explode? It's because the emotional attachment is stronger. But the principle is the same. Their behavior belongs to them. Your reaction belongs to you.
Exactly. And when someone close to you is emotional or angry, the biggest mistake people make is matching their energy. If they shout, you shout louder. If they complain, you defend. If they go aggressive, you mirror it. And suddenly, no one is listening. Everyone is fighting.
The skill is staying the calm one in the room. If someone is emotional, your calmness becomes the stabilizer. And you know what? When you don't react, their anger loses power. The argument usually dies instantly.
I've seen this in real relationships. Sometimes the best answer is silence or a gentle, I understand, instead of you're wrong. Because the goal is not to win the argument, it's to protect the peace.
Now, let's move to another major area, work. People often get triggered by bosses, coworkers, customers, clients. A boss speaks harshly and your whole day is ruined. A coworker takes credit and you're angry for a week. A customer complains and suddenly you question your worth.
Yes, but in professional settings, emotions destroy productivity. If you're a leader and you can't control your emotions, nobody will follow you. If you're an employee and you get offended easily, your growth gets limited. The world rewards calm minds.
One thing that helped me in the workplace is separating emotion from information. For example, if someone criticizes you, don't focus on the tone, focus on the value. Instead of asking, "Why did he say it like that?" ask, "Is there something useful I can learn?"
That mindset transforms you from defensive to unstoppable. Even harsh feedback becomes fuel for growth. And often that shift impresses others. People start seeing you as mature and reliable.
Some people listening might say, okay, Emma and Jack, all this is good, but you haven't met the difficult people I know. So let's talk about difficult personalities. People who complain nonstop. People who blame everyone. People who gossip. People who provoke. People who always play the victim. What do you do when someone like that is in your life?
The key is understanding something important. Some people don't want solutions. They want attention. They want someone to join their emotional drama. If you react, you become part of their story. If you stay calm, the emotional fire goes out.
That's true. And another strategy is not giving your emotional energy for free. Every day you wake up with limited emotional energy, like a battery. Waste it on negativity, and you have nothing left for your goals. So ask yourself, is this situation worth draining my battery? Most of the time, the answer is no.
Let's go even deeper. Suppose someone insults you directly. You're stupid, you're lazy, your English is terrible, something like that. How do you respond? Here's an idea from philosophy. If you don't accept the insult, it belongs to the person who delivered it. Just like someone offering you a gift. If you don't take it, they keep it.
Yes, I love that example. When someone throws an insult, you can say in your mind, "This is not mine." Suddenly, the emotional effect disappears. Let's role play a situation. I'll be someone rude. Emma, you stay calm. Your English is terrible. Don't speak.
Thank you for sharing your opinion.
No, really, you speak like a child.
I appreciate your feedback. I'm still learning and improving every day.
Look how powerful that response is. No defense, no anger, no emotional explosion. And guess what? When someone can't trigger you, they lose interest in attacking you.
Yes, people attack because they want a reaction. If they don't get one, the attack dies.
Let's address something real. What about moments when you feel the anger rising and you know you're about to explode? What can someone do in that instant?
Here are a few tools. 1. Breathe. From the stomach, slowly. Emotional signals calm down instantly. 2. Look away. Eye contact often increases tension. 3. Change your posture. Sit or stand more relaxed. Your body controls your emotions. 4. Don't speak for 5 seconds. Let the brain return to logic. 5. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 hours, 5 days, 5 years? Most of the time, the answer is no.
Exactly. We often sacrifice long-term peace for a short-term emotional release, and later we regret the things we said. Remember, you will never regret staying calm, but you will often regret speaking in anger. Another thing, sometimes someone really is wrong. Maybe they lie, blame you unfairly, or make accusations, and your instinct is to defend yourself. But often, the strongest move is calm explanation, or even no explanation, because the truth does not need to shout.
Yes, if someone behaves unfairly, don't waste energy proving you're right. If you stay calm, your behavior speaks louder than your words. Now, let's talk again about one of the great emotional traps of modern life, public opinion. Many people live stressed because they care too much about what others think. They post something online and refresh all day waiting for likes, comments, validation. If someone criticizes them, they feel attacked. But here's a truth. No matter who you are, someone won't like you. So why try to impress everyone?
Yes. Imagine 100 people commenting about you. 20 will love you, 20 won't. 60 won't care. And yet most people focus only on the 20 who dislike them. If you stop chasing approval, life becomes peaceful. This is another huge revelation. Many people believe if someone is upset, I must fix it. If someone is angry, I must respond. If someone is disappointed, I am to blame. No! People are responsible for their own emotional reactions. You can be kind, respectful, gentle, but you cannot carry everyone else's emotional baggage.
Well said. And when you stop taking responsibility for other people's moods, you stop being controlled by them. Now, let's talk about daily training, because emotional control is like building muscle. You get stronger with repetition. Here are some ways. Practice staying calm in small annoyances. Respond slowly, not instantly. Observe your own emotions without reacting. Learn to walk away without feeling guilty. Treat anger like a teacher, not an enemy.
Yes. For example, when someone cuts you in traffic, use that moment as training. When someone speaks sharply, use that moment for practice. Eventually, nothing shakes you. I want to say something poetic. In today's world, where everyone is stressed, loud, defensive, reactive, being peaceful makes you rare. People notice it. They respect it. They feel safe around you. And your presence becomes stronger than your words.
Yes, a calm person becomes a leader automatically, not because they demand respect, but because they demonstrate control, and others trust controlled people more than emotional ones.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Reen English Channel podcast. I'm Emma, and today we're going to talk about a topic everyone can relate to, friends. We'll be discussing how to talk about a friend in fluent, natural English, their personality, the story of how you met, why they matter to you, and what role they play in your life. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. Jack is here with me.
Hello, everyone. Yes, today's topic is fun, useful, and full of storytelling opportunities. Talking about your friend is a common speaking topic in exams, job interviews, small talk, and daily conversation. So today we're going to show how to talk naturally for a long time about a friend without running out of things to say.
We're going to speak as if we're having a long, relaxed conversation. And hopefully, by listening, learners will feel more confident when talking about the people in their lives.
So, Emma, let's start. Tell us about a friend who is really important in your life.
Sure. I'd like to talk about my friend Olivia. We've known each other since high school, and we've been close for more than 10 years now. She's one of those people who always makes you feel comfortable and safe. I think everyone needs at least one friend like that in their life.
How did you meet her?
We met on the first day of high school. I didn't know anyone because I had moved to a new city. I walked into the classroom feeling nervous, and I sat down at an empty desk. Olivia came in a few minutes later and sat next to me. She had a friendly smile and immediately said, "Hi, I'm Olivia. What's your name?" That one sentence changed everything. The next thing I knew, we were talking about music, homework, teachers, and favorite snacks. From that day on, we were inseparable.
I love that. Sometimes friendships start from the simplest moment. What kind of person is she?
She is warm, patient, and incredibly thoughtful. She remembers small details about people, things that most of us forget. If you tell her once that your favorite fruit is mango, she will remember and show up one day with mango juice just to surprise you. She notices how people feel and always gives emotional support in a gentle way. I learned a lot from her.
Sounds like a true friend. What kinds of things do you usually do together?
Many things. When we were younger, we loved walking around the city after school, just talking about life. On weekends, we tried new cafes and restaurants. Now, as adults, we still meet often, but our time together is a bit more planned because life gets busy. Sometimes we watch movies, sometimes we travel, and sometimes we just go for long walks and talk about our goals and struggles.
Let me ask, what is one moment with Olivia you will never forget?
I know exactly which one. A few years ago, I lost a job. It was a difficult time. I felt like I wasn't good enough, and my confidence was low. I remember sitting on my bed thinking about everything I did wrong. Suddenly, Olivia knocked on my door. She came over with snacks, tea, and a funny handwritten card that said, "You're still amazing. You just need a new job to see it." We ate, talked, laughed, and she helped me realize that one failure didn't define my worth. That moment stayed with me forever.
That was a beautiful story. Okay, now I'll talk about a friend who means a lot to me. His name is Daniel. We've known each other since college. He was one of the first people I met outside my dorm. We were both struggling to carry huge boxes up the stairs during move-in day. He looked at me, laughed, and said, "Why didn't we choose the first floor?" And we immediately became friends.
That's a great start to a friendship. What kind of person is Daniel?
Daniel is energetic, motivated, and always excited about new things. Every time I talk to him, he has a new idea, new plan, or new project. Sometimes it's exhausting, but mostly it's inspiring. He pushes me to think bigger. I tend to be realistic, maybe even a little cautious. Daniel is the opposite. If I say, maybe we should start a small project, he'll say, why not launch a global one? He helps me grow and dream bigger.
Friends like that are valuable because they show us what we're capable of.
Absolutely. One thing I admire about him is his discipline. For example, when we were in college, he woke up every morning at 5 a.m. to study. At first, I thought he was crazy, but later I realized that's why he always stayed ahead in class. His work ethic comes from his family background. He was raised to believe that success is not about talent, but about consistency.
Is there a moment with Daniel that changed your life?
Definitely. It was during our second year of college. I was having a hard time. I wasn't doing well academically, and I felt lost about the future. I was afraid to talk to my family about it. One night, I was sitting alone in the library, staring at my laptop with no idea what to write. Daniel found me, sat down, and said, "What's going on?" And I just opened up. I told him everything I felt: confusion, fear, stress. He didn't judge me. He didn't tell me what I should do. Instead, he said, "Let's plan tomorrow together. You don't have to figure everything out today." Then we sat there making a small plan, one assignment, one chapter, one task at a time. That night taught me that sometimes you don't need someone to solve your problems. You just need someone to sit with you while you face them.
Isn't it interesting how friends influence who we become? Olivia made me kinder and more thoughtful. She showed me what it means to truly listen.
And Daniel helped me become more confident and more ambitious. He taught me to take risks, to try things even when I'm scared. Friends can shape us in powerful ways, sometimes without even realizing it.
Exactly. When students practice speaking English about a friend, they don't just describe someone. They share a piece of their life, their growth, their values, and their memories.
Yes, which is why this topic is perfect for long speaking practice. You can talk about how you met, what your friend is like, what you do together, a moment you will never forget, how the friendship changed you. If a learner speaks about these points with detail and emotion, they can easily speak for an hour about a friend.
Do you think friendship becomes harder as we grow older?
In a way, yes. When we're young, we see our friends every day in school. As adults, we have work, family, responsibilities, but the true friendships survive.
Exactly. Olivia and I don't talk every day, but when we do, the conversation continues as if no time passed. That's the beauty of real friendship.
I feel the same with Daniel. We might not talk for weeks, but the moment the phone rings, we pick up where we left off.
Listeners, try thinking about this. Who is a friend like that in your life? What role do they play? How have they shaped the person you are today?
Okay, Emma, let me ask you a bigger question. What do you think makes a good friend?
For me, a good friend is someone who, 1, makes you feel safe to be yourself. 2, supports your dreams. 3, tells you the truth kindly. 4, stays with you in hard times. 5, celebrates your success genuinely. What about you?
I agree with all of that. I also think a good friend is someone you can grow with, someone who challenges you, encourages you, and helps you see your potential.
Yes, and someone who brings peace, not drama.
This conversation is already deep and meaningful, and we've only finished part 1. In the next part, we're going to dive into how to describe different types of friends, how friendships change over time, what to say if your friend makes a mistake, cultural differences in friendship, and more long-form storytelling.
So, stay with us and we'll continue this conversation in part 2.
Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing our discussion about talking in depth about a friend. In part 1, Jack and I talked about our own friends and how they influenced our lives. Now, in part 2, we're going even deeper.
Yes, today we'll explore more angles so learners can talk about a friend for a long time, like in a 120-minute practice session. So Emma, let's start with something interesting. Friends come in many types. What kinds of friends do you think we meet in life?
Oh, there are so many. Let me list a few. The friend who always makes you laugh. The friend who listens. The ambitious, let's go friend. The calm, grounding friend. The childhood friend. The work friend. The friend you travel with. The friend you only talk to at certain times of the year. Some friends are for fun. Some are for wisdom. Some are emotional anchors. Each serves a different purpose.
That's true. Daniel, the friend I talked about earlier, is the ambitious one. When I need motivation, he's the one I call. But I also have other friends. One who I talk to when I'm stressed, another for sports, another when I just want to relax and watch a movie.
Exactly. Different friends fill different emotional needs, and that's beautiful. You don't need one perfect friend. You just need different connections that bring something to your life.
Let me ask you something. Are you and Olivia very similar or very different?
We're wonderfully different. She is calm, patient, organized, and I am energetic, emotional, and sometimes chaotic. But our differences complement each other. If I'm stressed, she grounds me. If she's overthinking, I encourage her to jump in and take a chance.
That's interesting, because Daniel and I also have opposite strengths. I think that's why some friendships last. Each person brings what the other lacks. If two people are exactly the same, maybe they don't help each other grow as much.
Yes, and difference makes conversations richer. You see the world from another angle.
Let's talk about how friendships change over the years. When you think of high school or college, friendships usually mean spending lots of time together. But as adults,
Schedules change. People move, marry, have children, switch careers. But real friendships evolve instead of ending. Olivia and I may not see each other every week, but when we meet, the connection is still strong.
I think that's a sign of a mature friendship. You don't depend on constant communication to feel close.
Exactly. Some friends disappear when you stop seeing them daily, but the meaningful ones stay in your heart even if life becomes busier.
Okay, serious question. What do you do if a friend hurts your feelings?
Good topic. Friends are human. They make mistakes. The question is not, will problems happen, but how do we deal with them? For me, 1, I take time to calm down. 2, I talk honestly. 3, I say how I feel without blaming. 4, I listen to their side. 5, I try to solve it like adults. If a friendship is real, it will survive a hard conversation.
I agree. I used to avoid difficult conversations. If a friend did something that upset me, I kept quiet. But that only created distance. Later, I learned that good communication actually strengthens friendships.
Sometimes friendships end, and that's okay. Not because someone is bad, just because people grow in different directions.
Yes, this is something many adults experience. A friend from childhood might have a different lifestyle, different dreams, different priorities. You don't fight, you just become different people.
And sometimes a friendship is only meant for one chapter of life. You were there for each other when you needed it, and when that chapter ends, you move on without anger.
Beautifully said. I think understanding that makes adulthood easier. Let's talk about long-distance friendships. Do you have any?
Yes, one of my good friends now lives abroad. We used to walk home from school together every day. Now we talk through video calls only a few times a year. But every time we talk, it feels like no time has passed.
I relate. Daniel and I live in different cities. We meet maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but we text or call occasionally. And when we finally meet, the energy is the same.
Distance changes communication frequency, but not connection if the friendship is real.
Let's talk about how friends shape who we become. Can you think of something specific Olivia taught you?
Yes, she taught me emotional balance. I tend to react quickly. Happy, sad, excited, stressed, all with maximum intensity. Olivia pauses, breathes, and thinks first. Spending time with her taught me that calm is a superpower.
That's lovely. Daniel taught me that dreams need action. Before knowing him, I thought success depended on talent. He showed me success comes from showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it.
Friends are often the family you choose, especially during difficult times. I remember once I was going through something painful, and Olivia didn't give speeches or advice.
She simply sat with me quietly. That presence alone was healing.
That reminds me of something Daniel said once. Big problems feel smaller when someone is standing next to you. And it's true. Sometimes we don't need solutions. We need company.
Let's talk about the other side, celebrating good things. A true friend is not only with you when you fall, they're also happy when you rise.
Oh, yes. Some people are there for your sadness, but can't handle your success. A real friend smiles at your victory, even if their life is not perfect at the moment.
Exactly. Olivia once told me, "Your success is my happiness." I never forgot that.
Daniel and I have a tradition. Whenever one of us achieves something big, we go out for a meal, no matter how busy we are. It's our way of saying, I'm proud of you.
This is a fun topic. Friendship looks different in different cultures. For example, some cultures encourage emotional sharing, some prefer reserved communication. Some cultures form friendships quickly, others take longer to trust.
Yes. When I lived abroad, I noticed people made friends differently. In some places, people treat coworkers like friends. In others, work relationships stay formal.
But in every culture, friendship requires the same ingredients: trust, support, kindness, and connection.
For our learners, here is a simple structure to talk about a friend in a long, natural way. 1. Who the friend is. 2. How you met. 3. What they are like. 4. What you do together. 5. A memorable story. 6. How the friendship changed you. 7. What friendship means to you. If you describe each of these with examples and feelings, you can easily speak for 20, 30, even 60 minutes.
Yes, and the key is details. Don't just say, "My friend is kind." Tell a story that shows kindness. That makes your speaking real and memorable.
Another interesting idea is that friends act like mirrors. They help us see who we are.
Yes, Olivia once told me, "You are stronger than you think." I didn't believe it at the time, but hearing it from someone I trust changed me.
Daniel once said, if you treat your goals seriously, people will treat you seriously. That sentence stayed in my mind for years.
Here's a philosophical thought. We haven't even met some of the most important friends of our lives yet.
Wow, true. Life keeps expanding. Sometimes someone you meet unexpectedly becomes one of the most valuable people in your world.
And sometimes a short meeting creates a lifelong memory. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Reen English Channel, the podcast where we talk about real-life topics in natural English. I'm Emma, and today we're diving into a very human topic: feelings, why we have them, how we deal with them, and how to talk about them in English. And of course, I'm here with my co-host, Jack. Hi, Jack.
Hey, Emma. Hi, everyone listening. I think today's topic is really important. We all go through so many emotions every day, but sometimes we don't really stop to talk about them, or we don't know how to express them. So this episode is perfect for learners who want to build confidence speaking about personal feelings.
Absolutely. And it's something everyone relates to. We all feel happy, sad, frustrated, excited, scared, proud, all those things. But many learners feel uncomfortable talking about emotions in English, especially in detail. So today we'll try to model a natural conversation.
Right, and we'll talk about our personal experiences, how we manage emotions, how certain events affect our feelings, and how to become better at emotional awareness, both in life and in spoken English.
So, Jack, let's start simple. How are you feeling today?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good. I slept well, had a strong coffee, and I feel energized. I think starting the day well really affects your emotions. When the morning goes smoothly, the whole day feels lighter.
I completely agree. A good morning sets the tone. For me, I'm feeling a mix of things right now. On one hand, I'm excited about this episode because I think it's meaningful. On the other hand, I'm feeling a little stressed because I have a busy week ahead.
That's real life, right? Two emotions at the same time. People don't talk about that enough. We often think we're supposed to feel only one thing, but in reality, we can feel excited and anxious, happy but tired, confident but worried all at once.
Yes, and many English learners struggle with explaining mixed feelings. They want to say only happy or sad, but life is more complex. Sometimes we feel nervous but hopeful, or tired but motivated.
Jack, when you said you're stressed about the week, is it because of work?
Mostly, I have several projects that need finishing, deadlines coming up, and I also have some personal things going on. And when everything arrives at the same time, I start feeling overwhelmed.
I know that feeling. When too many responsibilities stack up, our brains start saying, oh no, everything is happening at once. That's when stress hits.
Exactly. So I try to manage it by writing things down, planning, and giving myself small breaks. If I don't, my emotions get too heavy.
That's smart. I think a lot of emotional stress comes from feeling like things are out of control. When you organize things, suddenly you feel you have more power.
Yes, and just naming the feeling helps. Instead of just saying, I feel bad, I try to say, I feel nervous because. Once you understand the cause, the feeling is easier to handle.
Definitely. When people learn to identify their emotions clearly, they become mentally stronger. It's like shining a light in a dark room.
Jack, were you always comfortable talking about emotions, even when you were younger?
Not really. I grew up in a family where expressing emotions wasn't common. If you were sad, you just had to stay strong. If something upset you, you were supposed to deal with it quietly. So I learned to ignore my feelings for a long time.
I know many people who had a similar experience. And later in life, they realized ignoring emotions makes them build up and become even stronger.
Exactly. One day something small happens and suddenly you explode because there's too much stored energy.
For me, it was the opposite. My family talked a lot about emotions. We always had conversations like, how was your day? How do you feel? Why do you feel that way? And while it sometimes felt too much as a kid, in the long run, it helped me become comfortable with emotional language.
That's really healthy. If kids learn emotional vocabulary early, they grow up emotionally intelligent.
True. And even as adults, we can learn to express feelings better. It just takes practice, like learning a language.
Let me ask, what emotion is hardest for you to talk about?
Maybe disappointment. When I feel disappointed, especially with myself, I find it hard to talk about. I feel vulnerable, like I failed or didn't meet expectations.
I relate to that. Disappointment has layers. It's not just sadness, it's sadness plus expectation plus pressure.
Exactly. And when I feel disappointed, my instinct is to hide it. But talking about it often helps.
What helps you deal with disappointment?
Honestly, reflection. I ask myself questions like, why did I feel this way? Was the expectation realistic? And what can I learn from it? When I take time to understand it, the emotion becomes easier to manage.
That's a really good strategy. For me, the hardest emotion to talk about is fear. I like to appear strong, so saying, I'm afraid feels uncomfortable.
Fear is a powerful emotion. People don't like admitting it, but we all feel it.
Yes, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of change, those are universal.
I once read something that stuck with me.
Courage is not the absence of fear, but moving forward despite it. So talking about fear actually makes us stronger.
Absolutely. When you say, I'm scared, the fear shrinks. When you hide it, it grows.
Let's talk about triggers, things that cause strong emotions quickly. What triggers positive emotions in you?
Oh, lots of things. Morning sunshine, music with good energy, a strong cup of coffee, a message from a friend, a sudden idea. I'm easy to excite. Little things make me happy.
That's a great skill. Many people only react emotionally to big events. But if you appreciate small things, life becomes richer.
What about you? What gives you an emotional lift?
Nature. If I go outside and see trees or sit in a park, my mood improves instantly. Fresh air is like an emotional reset button.
Totally. Nature is therapeutic.
On the negative side, what triggers stressful emotions for you?
Noise. If I'm concentrating and someone interrupts, or if there's loud noise around, I get irritated quickly. Not angry, just tense.
That makes sense. Many people feel that way but don't realize the cause.
How about you?
My biggest trigger is lack of time. If I feel rushed and don't have enough minutes to finish something, I immediately get tense.
So time pressure brings emotional pressure.
Exactly.
Something I wish I had learned earlier is that emotions need names. If you don't name them, they control you.
Yes, language helps us understand our internal world.
For example, instead of just saying, I'm upset, you can be more specific. I'm frustrated because I feel ignored when I feel insecure because. That detail makes communication better.
And healthier relationships. People can't support us if we don't express ourselves clearly.
Emotional vocabulary is emotional power.
Let's shift to emotional experiences at work. Work is one of the biggest emotional environments in life.
Definitely. Pressure, teamwork, deadlines, expectations. Work generates so many emotions.
What emotion do you feel most often at work?
Probably responsibility. It's not exactly positive or negative. It's a heavy but meaningful feeling. I'm trusted and I want to do things right.
Responsibility carries pride and stress at the same time.
Exactly. And when things go well, you feel proud. When they don't, you feel pressure.
I feel satisfaction when I finish tasks, even small tasks. Checking something off a list improves my mood immediately.
That's a dopamine hit.
Yes, humans love progress.
Have you ever had a moment when emotions became too much?
Oh, yes, many times, especially during busy periods. When work, personal life, health, and responsibilities all demand energy at the same time, it can feel like drowning emotionally.
What do you do when that happens?
First, I pause. I stop everything for a moment. Even 1 minute of silence helps. Then I breathe slowly and remind myself that I can only do one thing at a time.
That's powerful. A small pause can prevent a big emotional explosion.
What about you? How do you handle emotional overload?
I move. I go for a walk, do exercise, or clean the house. Movement helps me release energy. If I stay still, my brain spirals.
That makes sense. Some people need stillness to calm down, others need motion.
Something I've learned in recent years is that emotional honesty is rare but valuable.
Absolutely. Many people pretend to be fine because they don't want to look weak.
Or they don't want to make others uncomfortable.
But pretending creates emotional distance.
Yes. When you tell someone the truth, like, I'm having a tough day, it opens a door for connection.
And most of the time, people understand.
Right, we're all human.
So, Jack, earlier we talked about emotional honesty. I think one of the hardest parts is admitting your feelings, even to yourself. Many people don't even know what they're feeling until the body reacts, like stomach aches, headaches, stress eating, sleepless nights. Sometimes the emotions show up physically before we understand them.
That's a great point. The body is a messenger. If you're always tired, not sleeping, easily frustrated, or you feel pressure in your chest, it might not just be physical. It could be emotional overload.
Absolutely. Sometimes our emotions are saying, pay attention, something is too much.
I used to ignore those signals. I would push through stress and say, no big deal, I'll just keep working. But then at night, I couldn't sleep because my mind was racing.
Many people get that. Mind spinning, replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow, thinking about all the things they didn't finish.
Exactly. And problems look much larger at 3 a.m.
Oh, yes. Everything feels worse at night.
I think one of the big lessons in adulthood is learning when to slow down emotionally. Society pushes us, work faster, do more, achieve more. But emotional growth requires slowing down.
Yes, taking time to feel what you feel, letting the emotion pass through instead of fighting it. When we slow down, we can ask ourselves meaningful questions like, what is this feeling trying to tell me? What do I need right now? Am I being fair to myself?
And sometimes the answer is simple. I need rest.
Exactly. People forget that you can't think properly when exhausted. Your feelings get louder when you don't take breaks.
Let's talk about how emotions affect communication. When people are emotional, especially angry or stressed, they often speak differently.
Yes, tone changes, word choice changes. Sometimes people don't even hear what the other person is saying because they are listening through their emotions.
I've definitely been guilty of that. When I'm annoyed, I interrupt more, my voice gets sharper, and I stop listening.
That happens to everyone. Emotional ears hear differently. If you feel angry, even a neutral sentence might sound like criticism.
True. And that's why conflicts often start from misunderstanding, not intention.
Yes, one person speaks from stress, the other person responds from hurt, and the situation escalates.
I think emotional maturity is learning to pause before reacting, to feel something, but not act immediately.
That's wisdom. The space between emotion and reaction is where growth happens. If you can say, I'm angry, but I won't yell, or I'm upset, but I'll talk calmly, then you're in control, not the emotion.
And it takes practice. Nobody is perfect, not even emotionally intelligent people.
Agreed. Emotional maturity doesn't mean never losing control. It means recognizing when you do and learning from it.
Let's talk about sadness. Many adults feel uncomfortable admitting they are sad.
Yes, because sadness is often seen as weakness, but sadness is natural. It tells us something matters.
I remember a few years ago, something in my personal life didn't work out, and instead of allowing myself to feel sad, I forced myself to keep busy. I worked more, socialized more, tried to distract myself. It took months before I realized I hadn't actually processed anything.
So the sadness stayed in the background.
Exactly. And when it finally came out, it was much heavier. If I had just let myself sit with the sadness for a few days, I probably would have recovered much faster.
That's a powerful lesson. We often think avoiding sadness is strength, but facing it is actually stronger.
What about you? Do you deal with sadness easily?
I've gotten better. When I was younger, I tried to be strong all the time. Now I understand that crying is normal. If the emotion needs to come out, let it come out.
There's something healing in that.
Yes, after crying, the body relaxes, the brain resets, and clarity returns.
Have you ever had an emotion surprise you? Like you thought you were fine, but suddenly something small made you react strongly.
Oh, yes. I once snapped at a friend over something tiny. Later, I realized the problem wasn't the moment, it was stress I had been ignoring for days. The small trigger opened a big door.
That happens to a lot of people. If we suppress emotions, they come out sideways.
Exactly. Maybe we get angry at someone innocent, or we withdraw, or we lose motivation. That's why emotional awareness is not optional, it's essential.
Let's talk about positive feelings too. Joy, celebration, excitement. Some people are uncomfortable showing happiness because they fear being judged.
That's true. Some cultures encourage emotional modesty. Don't show too much joy. Don't show too much pride. But celebrating small wins is important.
What gives you joy the quickest?
Music. I can be stressed, tired, or sad, but if the right song comes on, my mood changes instantly.
Same here. Music is emotional medicine.
What about you?
Food shared with people I love. A good meal with good conversation, that fills me emotionally.
That's beautiful. Connection is one of the greatest sources of positive emotion.
Let's talk about environment and emotions. The spaces we spend time in affect how we feel. For example, a messy room can make the mind feel messy.
Absolutely. I once read that your surroundings talk to your emotions. If you wake up in a room full of dirty clothes, dishes, clutter, your emotions may feel overwhelmed before the day even starts.
And it works the other way, too. A clean, bright, organized room brings calm and motivation.
And nature also changes emotional energy. If you spend 1 hour in fresh air, your emotional load lightens.
Yes, nature doesn't judge. It just exists quietly until your mind becomes quiet with it.
Jack, I love thinking about emotional habits. Just like we brush our teeth every day, we need habits for the heart.
That's a great point. What emotional habits do you practice?
I journal. Even a small paragraph helps me express what I'm feeling. I check in with myself. How's my heart today? And I try to name emotions clearly.
That's wonderful. For me, my emotional habit is talking. I talk to someone I trust. When you say your feelings out loud, they stop swirling inside.
Talking is like opening a window. Fresh air comes in.
Let's connect this to language learning. When people increase their emotional vocabulary in English, they also increase their emotional intelligence.
Yes, if your only emotional words are happy, sad, angry, and tired, you can't fully express your heart. But if you can say things like, I feel uncertain, I feel emotionally drained, I feel hopeful again, I feel content, then your communication becomes richer and more meaningful.
Language gives shape to emotion. Naming it makes it real. And once it's real, you can manage it.
Let's finish this segment with something important: emotional self-love. Being kind to yourself when emotions are heavy.
Yes, many people are kind to others but extremely harsh to themselves.
If a friend feels disappointed, you would comfort them. But when you feel disappointed, you might say, I'm such a failure. That's emotional self-abuse.
A good test is, would you say the words you're saying to yourself to someone you love?
Exactly. If the answer is no, then you shouldn't say them to yourself either.
At the end of the day, emotions are part of being human. There is no right or wrong feeling.
Yes, emotions are information, not identity. Feeling angry doesn't mean you are an angry person. Feeling sad doesn't mean you are weak. Feelings come and go like weather.
And just like weather, emotions change. Sunny today, cloudy tomorrow, sunny again after.
That perspective takes away fear. Instead of thinking, this emotion is who I am, you can say, this emotion is passing through me.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of our Real English Channel podcast. I'm Emma, and I'm really excited about today's topic, talking about daily routines. But before we start, please subscribe our channel. It really helps us.
And I'm Jack. This is a great topic because daily routine is something all of us have, and it's a perfect subject for English learners to practice speaking naturally.
Yes! Talking about your daily routine is one of the most common things in everyday conversations. You can talk about it in small talk, in job interviews, when meeting someone new, or just chatting socially.
Right. And it's also a way to show what your life is like, your habits, your lifestyle, how you manage your time, and what matters to you.
So, Jack, let's start with you. Tell us about a typical weekday for you, from morning to night.
Okay, here we go. A normal day for me starts around 6:30 in the morning. My alarm goes off, and like most people, I usually hit the snooze button once or twice. But I try not to stay in bed too long. I get up, open the curtains, and let the morning light in.
Good habit. Morning light wakes up the brain.
Exactly. Then I drink a glass of water because I read that it helps rehydrate the body after a full night's sleep. Then I head to the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, shave if needed, and then change into comfortable workout clothes.
So you exercise in the morning.
Yes, I usually do. I either go for a 20-minute jog around the neighborhood or do yoga at home. Exercise really helps me wake up and starts my day with a positive mindset.
I admire morning exercisers. I'm not one of them, but I wish I was.
It took time to become a habit, but after exercising, I take a quick shower and then make breakfast. Usually something simple. Eggs, toast, sometimes oatmeal. If I'm in a hurry, I might just grab fruit and coffee.
So what time do you start work?
Usually around 8:30 or 9. Before that, I check emails, plan my tasks, and prepare mentally for the day. I like to list 3 important things I want to accomplish.
Prioritizing is smart. Otherwise, the day can just run away from you.
Exactly. Then I work until lunchtime. My work involves writing, planning lessons, recording materials, editing content, that kind of thing. Around noon or 12:30, I take a lunch break.
Do you eat at home or go out?
Usually at home, simple meals, maybe rice bowls, salads, pasta, something like that. After lunch, I sometimes take a short walk to refresh my mind.
I love that. Walking in the middle of the day resets the brain.
It really does. Then I continue working through the afternoon. If I have meetings, they're normally scheduled between 1 and 4. I try not to schedule meetings after 5 because I want to keep evenings relaxed.
Good boundary.
By about 5:30 or 6 o'clock, I finish work. Then I relax, read books, watch videos, sometimes do more exercise, maybe cook dinner. I don't like going to bed late, so around 10 or 10:30, I shut off my phone and unwind.
That sounds like a very healthy and structured routine.
I try. Now, Emma, what about you? Tell us what a typical day looks like in your life.
Sure. My day usually starts a little later than yours.
I'm not a 6:30 morning person. I usually wake up around 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
That's still early.
Well, I used to wake up later, but I've been working on creating healthier habits. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is stretch in bed for a few minutes. Not exercise yet, just stretching so my muscles wake up.
That's a great idea.
After that, I drink a cup of warm water with lemon. It wakes up my digestion and gives me energy. Then I wash my face, brush my teeth, and get dressed. Most days, I don't eat breakfast immediately because I like to start my morning with meditation or journaling.
Meditation. Tell us about that.
Yes, I usually sit quietly for 10 minutes and focus on breathing. It keeps my mind calm, focused, and positive. After meditation, I write a few lines in my journal, how I feel, what I want to accomplish, or just thoughts on life.
That's beautiful. Very mindful.
After that, I make breakfast. Smoothies, fruit, yogurt, or sometimes avocado on toast. Something simple and healthy.
Sounds delicious.
After breakfast, I start work around 9 or 9:30. Like you, I also work from home, so I need a routine to stay productive. I usually start by reviewing tasks and planning the day. I try to finish creative work in the morning, like writing scripts or recording lessons.
Because the brain is fresh.
Exactly. Then I take a break for lunch around 12:30. After lunch, I sometimes do light exercise, like a short walk, some stretching, or a few minutes of light cardio.
Very balanced.
Then I continue working through the afternoon. Meetings, editing videos, preparing lessons, answering messages. I usually finish work by 6, but not always. If the deadline is close, I might work until 7 or 8.
That happens.
In the evening, I relax, cook dinner, watch something, chat with friends, or read a book. I try to go to bed before midnight.
Nice routine. It's calm and intentional. It's interesting how daily routines affect how we feel physically and emotionally. When the routine is healthy, we feel good. When the routine is chaotic, we feel stressed.
Oh, yes. A routine brings structure, stability, and control. Even simple things like waking up at the same time, eating regular meals, cleaning your space, or sleeping early can make a huge difference.
And routines help the brain relax. When habits are automatic, the brain uses less energy to make decisions.
Exactly. Decision fatigue is real. If every day is random time to wake, random meals, random work schedule, you get mentally tired faster.
Very true. And also, routine reflects values. For example, someone who exercises every morning values health. Someone who journals values reflection. Someone who studies daily values learning.
But not everyone has a routine. Some people just go with the flow every day.
Yes, and that works for some people. But often, no routine means no consistency, and that makes goals harder to achieve.
Right. If someone wants to improve their English, for example, studying once a week is not enough. But if they create a simple routine, 15 minutes every morning, they will improve steadily.
Small daily habits beat big occasional ones.
Let's talk about happiness and routines. Do routines make people happier?
I think they do. When you have structure, you feel more in control of your life. You feel like you are moving forward, improving step by step.
Yes, and routines also reduce anxiety. When life feels uncertain, daily habits create stability.
Like a personal anchor.
Exactly, an emotional anchor. Even if the world is chaotic, if you wake up, exercise, plan your day, and drink your coffee, you feel grounded.
Let's talk about the different types of routines people might have. Morning routine, work routine, study routine, exercise routine, evening routine, weekend routine, sleep routine.
Yes, and I think each one affects a different part of life. For example, a strong morning routine sets the tone for the whole day.
Absolutely. If you start your day by scrolling social media for 45 minutes in bed, you probably won't feel energized or positive.
But if you start with water, sunlight, breathing, exercise, or reading, your brain starts the day in a better state.
Let's talk about how people can start a new routine. Many learners struggle because they try to change everything at once.
Yes, that is the problem. They want a perfect routine immediately. Wake at 5, exercise, meditate, study, journal, eat super healthy, all on day 1. After 2 days, they fail, then feel guilty.
Because habits must start small.
Exactly. If you want to start reading in English every day, start with 5 minutes, not an hour.
Then increase slowly. The brain accepts small habits more easily.
One thing many people forget is celebrating small wins, like I woke up 10 minutes earlier today. I studied English for 5 minutes. I drank water instead of soda. I took a walk. These small wins build momentum.
Yes, and they change identity. Every small habit tells your brain, I am the kind of person who does this.
And identity change lasts longer than motivation.
So, in part 1, we talked about the importance of routine and how daily habits shape our lives. I want to go deeper into something many people struggle with: discipline. Because routines don't work without it.
Very true. People often start a new routine with excitement, motivation, and energy. But after 2 or 3 days, the excitement disappears, and then they have to rely on discipline.
Yes, motivation is temporary. It's like a spark, bright, powerful, but short-lived. Discipline is what keeps a routine going when motivation disappears.
And that's why many people fail to maintain a routine. They think something is wrong with them when their motivation fades, but it happens to everyone.
Absolutely. Even people who exercise daily don't feel motivated every time. They just make it part of their identity.
That is key. Identity. If I see myself as a person who exercises, then exercising becomes natural, part of who I am, not something I have to force every day.
Exactly. If someone says, I'm not a morning person, they reinforce identity. If someone says, I'm terrible at sticking to routines, the brain believes it.
So, a powerful shift is when someone starts saying, I'm the kind of person who wakes up early. I'm the kind of person who studies every day. I am someone who takes care of my health, even before the habit is strong.
Yes, because the brain follows identity. Once the brain believes, the behavior becomes easier.
But let's also talk about something that happens to everyone. You build a routine, you follow it for a week, a month, maybe 3 months, and then suddenly something happens. You get busy, you travel, life changes, maybe you get sick, and your routine is broken.
Yes, and people panic. They think, I failed, or I'm back to zero.
But no one can keep a perfect routine forever. Life is unpredictable. It's not about never breaking the routine, it's about starting again.
Right. The key habit is not perfection. The key habit is returning.
Many learners experience something like this. They begin studying English every day. Then one day they miss their lesson. They feel bad, then miss another day. After that, the voice in their head says, it's too late, I've already failed.
Yes, but in reality, missing a day or two is normal. Missing 3 days is also normal. Even missing a week happens. What matters is, do you return?
Exactly. If every time you fall off track, you pick yourself up and return, the habit becomes strong.
Some people also fail because their routine is too strict. They design a perfect schedule. Wake up at exactly 6. Eat breakfast at exactly 6:30. Study at exactly 7. Exercise at exactly 8. But life doesn't always follow the clock.
Yes, routines need structure, but also flexibility. If someone wakes up late one day, they can still follow the routine, just shifted in time.
Right. Instead of, I woke up late, so today is ruined, they can think, I woke up late, but I still have the day. Let's continue.
Habits should be anchors, not chains. They should support life, not imprison it.
Let's talk about micro habits. They're one of my favorite concepts. Small actions that are too easy to fail at.
Yes, things like 2 minutes of reading, 5 push-ups, 3 sentences of writing, 1 paragraph of English study. Very small, almost effortless.
People underestimate small habits because they look too insignificant. But small habits are powerful because they are easy to stick with long term.
And also, small habits often grow naturally. Someone who starts reading 2 minutes a day might soon read 10 or 20 minutes without noticing.
Yes, micro habits remove the psychological resistance, the voice of, I don't want to.
Another thing we didn't talk about yet is how routines affect mental health. Many therapists say that when someone is anxious or depressed, creating even small routines can help stabilize emotions.
Yes, because routines give the mind structure. Even waking up, showering, brushing teeth, and eating breakfast can help someone feel more in control.
And when someone feels in control of small things, they gradually gain the confidence to manage bigger challenges.
Exactly. Routines are grounding. They connect you to the present moment and to your life.
It's also interesting how routines vary across cultures. For example, when I visited Europe, I noticed people had a very relaxed lunchtime routine.
Yes, many European countries take lunch seriously. Long lunches, slower meals, socializing. It's part of the culture.
In contrast, in some countries, people only have 10 or 15 minutes to eat at their desks or even skip lunch completely.
That affects stress levels, digestion, and energy. Routines influence health even at the cultural level.
And waking times differ too. In Spain or Italy, people often stay up late and wake up late. But in many Asian countries, people wake up very early.
And in the US, many people build routines around productivity. Morning workouts, long work hours, evening hobbies. Every country shapes daily rhythms differently.
Let's shift to weekend routines. Jack, what does a typical weekend look like for you?
Weekends for me are slower. I wake up without an alarm. I still exercise in the morning, but more casually. I usually meet friends, go grocery shopping, clean the house, or do hobbies, reading, hiking, photography.
That's nice.
I also try to plan the week ahead. Sunday night, I look at the calendar, set goals, and prepare mentally.
That's smart. Planning on Sunday can remove Monday stress. My weekends are very social. I often meet friends for brunch or coffee. I like going to farmers markets, taking walks, sometimes going to the movies or trying a new restaurant.
Sounds fun.
I also clean the house, do laundry, meal prep, and sometimes do creative hobbies like drawing or learning something new.
Weekends are good for reset. Cleaning your environment refreshes your mind.
Yes, A clean space usually means a cleaner state of mind. Let's talk about productivity. Some people think routines are boring, but actually, routines increase productivity.
That's true. When tasks are scheduled, they get done more efficiently. Without a plan, people often waste time deciding what to do next.
The brain has limited decision-making energy each day. Routines reduce unnecessary decisions.
This is why many successful people wear similar clothes every day, less mental energy on decisions.
Food routines also matter. If someone eats irregularly or eats too much late at night, they might feel tired or sluggish.
Yes, many experts say the body loves regularity. Eating at consistent times helps digestion and energy levels.
And if someone always skips breakfast, they might compensate with too much caffeine or sugar later.
Food routines can support discipline too. If someone cooks meals regularly, they are less likely to eat junk food or snacks all day.
Sleep routines, in my opinion, are the foundation. If someone sleeps well, everything else becomes easier.
Absolutely. Sleep affects mood, memory, concentration, metabolism, everything. Yet, many people go to bed at different times every night.
That confuses the body. The brain loves consistency. Regular bedtime, regular wake time, calming evening activities.
Many people stay awake scrolling social media until 2 a.m., then wake up tired, then repeat the cycle.
Yes. One powerful routine is simply putting the phone away 1 hour before bed.
Reading, journaling, stretching, or even just dimming the lights helps the brain slow down.
Since many of our listeners are English learners, let's talk about study routines.
Yes, before we explain how to study, I want to make something clear. Consistency is more important than intensity.
Exactly. Studying 10 minutes every day is more effective than studying 2 hours once a week.
Because the brain learns better through repetition, not through cramming.
Yes, language is like a muscle. Daily training builds strength. A simple study routine could be 5 minutes of listening, 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of speaking, 5 minutes of reviewing vocabulary. Just 20 minutes, but incredibly effective.
I want to talk about the problems people face when they live without routine. It often leads to poor time management, low productivity, constant stress, difficulty achieving goals, feeling overwhelmed.
Yes, without structure, days often disappear. People wake up, do random tasks, get distracted, and suddenly it's nighttime. They don't know where the day went.
And they blame themselves instead of their system.
Exactly. It's not the person who was broken, it's the structure.
And routines change depending on age, job, family, and lifestyle.
Yes. For example, when someone becomes a parent, their routine changes completely. Babies create their own schedule and parents must adapt.
Students also have different routines, class schedules, study sessions, part-time jobs.
And elderly people often follow calmer routines, morning walks, reading, gardening, community events.
The point is, routines evolve. They're not fixed forever.
People should ask themselves, what are my priorities? Because routines should support what matters most.
Exactly. If someone values health, routines might include exercise, cooking, drinking water, sleeping early. If someone values family, routines might include dinner together, quality time, helping children study.
And if someone values growth or career, routines might include reading, skill development, study sessions, morning planning.
Evening routines are also powerful. A short reflection at night helps you see what you did well and what you want to improve.
Yes, reflection helps close the day mentally. Some people can ask, what went well today? What could I improve tomorrow? Did I follow my routine? What am I grateful for?
Gratitude is extremely powerful. It shifts the brain toward positivity.
Another important part of establishing habits is rewarding yourself. When the brain feels rewarded, it repeats behavior.
Yes, the reward can be small, like checking the habit off on a calendar, enjoying a cup of coffee afterwards, taking a break, watching a favorite show.
The brain needs satisfaction to repeat routines.
Some people resist routines because they think routines are boring or restrictive.
Yes, they think routines remove freedom, but in reality, routines create freedom. When we automate certain parts of our life, we free mental space and energy for creative decisions.
Exactly. Without routine, the brain is constantly overwhelmed.